Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Nsima Chloe, and all I do on this channel is tell stories. And right now I am on my third episode of my four-part quitting law school series, which you can find right here. Other than that, I would like to just dig into this story. Now, before we go into the details, guys, first look at this bonnet. There's a whole story behind why I bought it, and also I where I get right now. But that's not what you came here for. You came to find out why I quit law school, the events that led up to it, and what you could benefit from it. Should I say that? Hopefully, yeah. Anywho, so guys, have you ever felt a moment of alignment in your life that really changed the trajectory of your life? Let me tell you guys a story. Now, I'm going to give you guys a bit of backstory before we get into this part of the Quitting Law School series, because this backstory is very important. There's this friend of mine I met like on WhatsApp. You know, these things when you're in group chats, people are sending in things, what you react in a way that I think the other person finds likable and pleasing, and then they like DM you directly, they inbox you. That is what happened in this situation. There's this guy, he sent a picture and I was like, who do you think is going to play the next James Bond? And there was it was a grid of guys. And I remember seeing a picture of his. And I was like, the picture that was in the whatever, was his photo that was one of the photos that was on that grid of like different guys who would play James Bond, Ugandan guys, Ugandan actors. His face was a man. So me, I was like, obviously, you sent this into the group so that would vote you. So I think maybe he liked my response, and then he did what? He inboxed me, and long story short, we became friends. Now, he started to invite me out to his place, but I was like, nah. So he was like, you know what? I'll just come and like visit you at hostel, which I was like, yeah, okay, because I don't like moving that much. So I came over to my hostel, and it's safe to say the guy misbehaved. But I think at the time I let it kind of pass because he came with food, Rolexes to be exact. He came with food, and campus life, it's not very easy. But he started to behave inappropriately, like he was like touching me weirdly or whatever, and trying to make me dance in the room, make me sit on his lap, and things like that. And I think at some point he noticed I was very uncomfortable and he bid himself adieu. And I was like, yeah, man, good riddance. And then I was like, no, it's time to now eat the food he brought. Man, you guys, I think it's that Rolex that made me not like these weird over beef Rolex, over chicken Rolex. It's that Rolex that made me hate it because they had brought a chicken Rolex, but some parts of it were not even ready properly. So I was like, man, can you imagine? I cancelled my plans with my aunt, who is now not with us, to be with this guy, to spend time with this guy. I really like when my aunt passed. It's one of those memories that returned, and I was like, I wish I had spent that day with her. But you know what? It's gone. It's past. So I was, if essentially pissed. I was holding this resentment. I want to say I was holding the resentment against the guy, but no, I was actually resenting myself for letting my incredibly low standards let someone invade my space and my boundaries. To do like that to me, I should have known better. And I blocked him. Like he knew. And when he reached home, he started texting me. He's like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And you know what made things worse is that he was apologizing. And it's like you knew what you were doing. Why were you doing it in the first place? Why are you now apologizing? When I've not even brought it up. Why are you apologizing? That's why I was pissed. So he continued apologizing, calling me, like harassing me with calls. I don't know, harassing me with calls is a bit of extreme if you ask me, but he was technically harassing me with calls. So I said, nada. I refused. I blocked him everywhere and I said, this is my piece. Now he tried even using other numbers, but I managed to know that it was him. Somehow I have that sixth sense. And I knew it was him and I said, nah, I'm not going to do this. So I let that go. And then I think a year or two later, I bumped into him. Now, during that year when I wasn't seeing him, I had taken some time off for myself to think about the situation, forgive myself, and learn to like accept that time happened. But it doesn't make me a bad person with incredibly low standards. It just makes me someone without standards. So I needed to learn what my standards were. And I forgave him and I forgive myself. But you see, the thing is, when you forgive someone who knows that they wronged you, sometimes they bear this burden like, hey, I'm not being forgiven. Maybe I'm a bad person. What? And all this time, like all these I think maybe 1 or 2 years, because at UCU the study schedule is very weird. Sometimes you're on same where there are people who are off same, like off semester, and then they're your own same with some guys. Sometimes so I think I kept skipping him at school because our semesters never aligned. But this one time they did, and for good reason, for alignment. Yes. So I bumped into him one time, accidentally, by the way. I didn't mean it. And I remember at first I was like, oh my God, I didn't even hit this guy up to say I had to make amends with him. What? But then I was like, no, what, Chloe? Let's face it. Let me tell him I forgive him. So he was like, I'm really sorry. He was apologizing profusely. I said, hey, it's okay. My God, calm down. I got you. So I even remember, you guys, because of that experience, I made a Reddit thread. Oh my goodness. But I deleted it. Don't go and look for it. Not that you will. No one usually takes my videos that seriously, but one day you all will. Why? And I made a Reddit thread because of all the anger I had pent up inside me. But it's in the past. Now, he was apologizing profusely, whatever. I remember at that time, I remember that day when we met, I was having one of those very low days in law school. Ooh, pun unintended, but it was a low, those incredible low days in law school. And when he apologized, I was like, no, it's okay, it's chill. Like, man, I moved on. Then he was like, hey, I'm working on this film project, student project. You can, like, maybe if you'd like to join the team, I would love to have you. We have guys who are studying nursing, doing cinematography, guys who are studying what's not just limited to journalist students, because, he was a journalist student. I was like, hey, I'll be part of it and all that stuff. So I joined the crew, and you guys, I wrote a film for the very first time. It's called My First Year. It's here on YouTube. I think you'll find it here or in the description box, whichever way. He was like, what? He was like, yeah. So I joined the thing and I wrote the screenplay, and I remember feeling alive for the very first time, guys. Now that moment led me up to the first award I won for screenwriting. I'm not saying that movie did, but because of working on that film, I remember there is a link that came in that group chat when I joined the film group chat. They sent a link for the UCCUFF. There's that certificate program of, I think, like 3 months, where you essentially learn, you get a certificate in either screenwriting, motion graphics, everything in the filmmaking department. And I signed up. I studied my ass off, you guys, for that certificate. I was the best screenwriting student. That's where my first award came from for screenwriting. And it was a filmmaking diploma. I did the diploma. While I was doing the diploma, this is when I landed on the opportunities I hear filmmaking competition. And because of all this training I've had, all these favors I've had, I remember he was my number one fan. He was like, I am rooting for you, girl. You, like, go for it. I know you're going to do great. And when I won that award for opportunities I hear as the best screenwriter, I'm going to say the best screenwriter in that competition, but I would love to say best screenwriter in Uganda. But it's so it's small. It's kawa. So that award made me the youngest award-winning screenwriter. I say youngest because I won it at 23. I want you guys to name me someone who won a screenwriting award at younger than 23. I swear I'll stop calling myself as the youngest award-winning screenwriter. What? Whatever. I'll decline that title. I'll relinquish it. I'm waiting. Anyway, it was after winning this award that I realized I could spend the rest of my life chasing after approval to do this law course, or I could build a life that could make me proud, like writing screenplays, making films. And even if no one understood it, I was like going to go for it. So that's one of the many reasons why I finally said, you know what? Time to quit this thing. Because for the first time, you guys, making that film and writing scripts in my screenwriting certificate classroom, and also in my filmmaking diploma classroom, is when I realized this is what I want my future to actually look like, and it's what I wanted since I was young. So what do I want you guys to take from this video? I'm going to read it because I have a prompter here. One moment of alignment can undo years of pretending. Don't ignore it. Now, I cannot exactly explicitly explain what that moment of alignment can look like for you. I can only say how it looked like for me. After so many years of, not my whole life anyway, after I think a few like years of fighting with myself, my inner self, having that inner turmoil, depression, and everything. I remember when I first wrote this screenplay, you guys, for the first time, I was at peace. There's that moment which comes in life and you can feel the wind blowing in your ears. You can hear it, not just feel it, hear it, and you can hear your heart pumping. You can finally hear the world around you. That is what they call a moment of alignment. Even in rehab, I remember my recovery coach telling me that. So when you have that moment of alignment, don't ignore it. Go for it. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next and final episode. Ciao, Bella. Oh, wait, before I say goodbye, click here for the playlist for the previous videos in this series. Click here to subscribe, and here for a video that I think you're gonna love. I'll see you. Ciao, Bella.